Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo along with Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio. Hurricane season starts on Saturday. We're going to get to that, General, in just a second. First, let's talk about the mandatory federal budget cuts known as the sequester. We're finding out about 425 full-time federal technician employees have received a warning letter. What does that mean?
That means that it's a warning that you could perhaps receive up to 11 days of furlough, meaning you're just not going to get paid for those 11 days over the next several months. This is good news and bad news at the same time. The good news, it was supposed to be 22 days. It went down to 11. But all that means is the bad news could suggest that it's going into next fiscal year also. So it doesn't affect the majority of the Guard, only the federal technicians who have what's referred to as dual status, meaning they wear the uniform, they're federal civil service technicians, and they would be affected, unlike the active duty Guard and Reserve and other state employees that work for the Guard.
What's the separation between state and federal when it concerns the Guard?
As far as the employees are concerned, you'd have a certain number of state employees who share some federal funds, mostly state funds, some total state fund. Others are active Guard and Reserve, which are not affected by this sequestration. And then you have the federal civil service who have dual status, wear the uniform, comply with all the military protocol and considerations as it relates to the uniform. They would be affected. And within that whole, some 800 and some, you have 425 who would be affected.
Would the furloughs have any type of impact on travel?
Yes, absolutely. There's some impact that's already starting to be seen, such as perhaps some training sites, some individual travel, some education requirements, conferences, and those kinds of things. We just saw that happen with the air show. As well as Leap Fest. Two of those involved, obviously, training as well as some travel funds.
You know, talk about those two for a second. That's an economic hit that the state of Rhode Island is taking. It's huge. So, I mean, what's the economic forecast down the road for that?
Well, obviously, this coming year, we're not sure whether it would go into next year's air show and perhaps Leap Fest. We're not sure of that. But obviously, it hit this year. And the economic impact is substantial. Because every time you bring $1 in, that multiplies several times over for the economy of the state. We're not going to see that this year.
And we've seen this before, General. This is not something new.
1996, we saw the same thing, and wasn't as significant, but it involved furloughs.
All right, let's switch topics. Talk about the hurricane season. It starts on June 1st. You talked to Rhode Island officials today. Are we ready? Yeah,
we're ready. You know, in reference to readiness, you have plans, you have training, you have the exercises that must take place, and they're all in line to do that. The thing is, we're not sure on how much money would be available, just like Sandy is happening right now. Right now, because of the sequestration, they're not sure that money would be available. But you can rest assured, if there's a disaster like Sandy, they would make money available, or they would find it someplace.
All right, we're looking at 13 to 20 named storms, 7 to 11 hurricanes, 3 to 6 of them being major ones. They're talking it to be an active to a very active season this year. You know, we usually talk about the Hurricane Barry, but we saw what happened at Roy Carpenter's Beach and Hurricane Sandy in that area that's been hit.
Yeah, Hurricane Barry was designed specifically to save Providence in reference to keeping the water from backing up into Providence. Those pumps pump it out into the ocean and prevents the ocean from coming back in. But having said that, when you look at the rest of the state, specifically our southern beaches, even the barriers that they contemplate putting in really doesn't save you when you have the tides that come up well up into the towers, as an example.
So the retaining wall, let's say at the Coast Guard House, Narragansett Beach, and even if they put it in East Matunic, not going to be totally...
It might save a little bit as far as erosion is concerned, but when you get tides that come up 15, 20 feet above the level of the beach, that's going to come right in over the existing roadways, even with the barriers out there.
All right.
You may have some opportunity to break those waves, but not significantly.
All right. General Centracchio, thank you for your thoughts.